Well there, YouTube. Got some heavy use going on my grinder this morning. Trying to cut a piece of metal off another piece that was welded. This thing started chattering, and I know better not to do this. See, there's grease in there, right? But there's not much near the gear, is there? Okay. Now, I seen a YouTube video of a young man showing me to grease my grinder. I actually seen 2 videos on it. I've had this since February, and the first one I took back in a month because the fan broke. It doesn't matter where you bought it, they're all made in the same place. There's just not much grease in there, is there? Near the gear. Sure, there's grease in there. Trying to get this so it'll focus. It's better on my little stand, I can hold it still. But there's not much near the gears. Well, this is all I've got. It's high temperature, recommended for disc brakes. I use this on my bicycles because it's such a nice grease. To me, brown grease, stuff like that, will cake up. Like some lithium greases, they will cake up on you and just turn into like a clay nasty. I like this on my bicycles because it always stays red and slippery. It's red colored. It always stays nice and slippery, is what I should say. And it's for disc brakes. You know how hot disc brakes get on a car. The brand doesn't matter. Just from the local farm store. But we're going to mix that in there. You can see where it's throwing the grease out if I can get it just right. I can't tell you what direction it's turning for sure. I think it would be turning counterclockwise as we face it. Yeah. The little gear would be turning towards us because your spiral always pulls into your ring gear. It's just throwing the grease out. That's why there's a hole there. So we're going to pack it up. Don't forget all your little washers. One of them stuck to the thing. You got little washers. I ain't talking plastic. Wonder what the bushing is. They make a plastic type bushing. I put them in my straight axle in my Ford truck. Well, semi straight axle. It's the Twin Ivy. You have 2 different washers. Don't forget that. You have your lock washer and one of these silver ones is stuck there, and I know where it went, so I just left it there. There ain't much you can do with this piece. I ain't taking it apart, but you take the snap ring off. I ain't messing with it. What little grease you put in there would be gone anyway. But enough of that instructional video. I say that direction the little gear is turning towards us. It's just spitting the grease out. Because a pinion gear always pulls itself into the object, not away. So it's spitting it out. So we're going to pack this thing up, and we're going to go back to work. I bet it's a little quieter. It was chattering. You'd actually see it chatter. And I know that's a sign of getting gears warped. But thanks for watching. Just a short tip there. It's pretty easy. Take 4 screws out. Got your gasket. Keep track of your screws. Pack it full of grease, put some more grease in there, I'll put some down in the bushing there. You can take this apart if you want. There's a snap ring, like I said. I'm not going to spend the time taking it apart. What grease I put in there ain't going to last anyway. So, I know that comes apart with a snap ring. There's not a lot of wear on them, no broken teeth. Now's the time to save it. Thanks for watching. Okay, one last thing to add to this. See how the head shape? It's bigger towards the grinder body. That way you'll get your gasket and get that on straight. I just had a washer stay down there on the bottom right corner, so I knew which way it went on. It stuck, so I left it. Actually, I had 2 of them stick. I peeled one off, left the other one. So, or you could scratch a mark on it. Now, we thought we had a problem. I've checked the brushes. The brushes are okay. They're about 3/4, still good. When I first started it was like intermittent. It would want to speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. I thought, oh man, I got too much grease in there. Well, I had so much grease there, it actually started coming up out of there on its own. As I put it together, another thing is make sure this turns. Okay, make sure you don't jam that. Make sure before you tighten the screws up that's going in there, make sure this turns for the screws tighten up. That's hot. I've been been running it. I've been running it just sitting here, well, about 95 degrees out. That's hot. I've been running it for a couple minutes. That is hot already. So, not a lot of play in there. That's not normal. We'll wind it up once. It sounds a lot better. When I first started up, it'd slow down, speed up, slow down, speed down. Well, I started watching the grease come off. I figured, well, if it shucks, it shucks. It's past the warranty. I ain't going to buy an extended warranty on a $20 grinder. They only give you 90 days or whatever. But you can see a little bit of grease. I've wiped it off. I packed so much grease there, it's actually trying to push up through there. So I guess that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't believe I just said that. Cheap-ass grinder. Oh, excuse me. Cheapo grinder. Said if YouTube ain't fun once in a while, I'm not going to do it. Don't need to show you the name. It doesn't matter where you buy them. They're all made the same way. They're all cheapo. But for 20 bucks, I mean, I've had this for 4 months. If it burned up, I wouldn't be crying. 4 months, the way I abuse the grinder, believe me, I abuse them. When I'm sanding and sanding discs, I try not to abuse with a cutter blade that'll shatter, but grinding discs, sanding it, I abuse grinders. I will honestly admit it. Now the shot there. I always like having a piece of paper when I'm doing something. It helps you to see the part. I have like art paper. Another tip. You just tablet that art paper. You can draw on it, scratch paper. When you're doing something, you see what you're doing. You see at the top of my desk all black screen, and you lose a boulder net really quick. But this video's got entirely too long. It's starting to be where I don't care. I'm ready to shut my own self off. I probably won't even watch this one. Yeah, I will. I always review my videos. But if that's what happens, folks, just make sure that ain't jamming when you tighten the screws down. If that kind of slows down, speeds up, slows down, just keep turning on and off, see what happens. If it's still running slow or anything, then you better check your brushes. I'm not going to do a video on that. But I already checked the brushes. They're 3/4 there. So thanks for watching this how-to crappy grinder video. I don't believe I made it, but it might help somebody. When you buy it, just take it apart and grease it. You know there's not enough grease in it. Thanks for watching.